I was able to get this car running. We've had some days that were like 1 degrees or lower, and it pretty much will wreck a battery in 1 or 2 days of that. This one actually did start though, and then I used that battery to start the Del Sol, to bring the Del Sol up, because we're going to be painting that Del Sol.
Oh, man, I will fuck.
I went ahead and brought it up just so it's ready. I went and had all of the PDR done on this car last year before I went to Classic Hondas on the Dragon. So there's no body work to be done on this vehicle right here. Just only prep and paint. And I don't even think I'm going to primer that vehicle. I think I'm just gonna paint right over the red, because the car is completely red and I'm painting it back red. So there's no reason to do a bunch of primer on that. And there's no body work to be done either. So it should be pretty easy to get done. But first, what I'm gonna do is clean the garage up a little bit, because over the winter time it's gotten pretty dirty and I don't wanna work in that. Going from mechanical to paint, I want to make sure I clean the garage up really nice for that. I'm ready for a scenery change from the EF. Not that I don't love that car, I'm just ready to work on something a little different. And I've been wanting to get into this Del Sol and get it just painted up, because it's actually a pretty easy process, because it doesn't need any body work. The PDR has already been done, so basically I just have to scuff it up with 600 grit, and it's already red, so paint it all back to the color red. I'm not doing a color change on this car. I just want it to be a nice Milano red, or something close. Doesn't have to be Milano, just something close. I think what I'm gonna do is take this panel by panel so I don't miss any spots. I think it'd be really easy for me to miss sanding an area if I just sand the whole car down with 600 and then come back and try to hit all the spaces that I missed. So I think I will go ahead and paint the front and back bumper probably off the car, since they're the front back bumpers, and also the side skirts. Yeah, front back bumper and the side skirts I'm gonna paint off the car. Okay, so this is the point in the video where I totally messed up and I don't have any audio at all coming from my camera. I didn't have my mic hooked up, but I'm telling you basically I'm going to take the gas lid off and paint it separately. I removed the tail lights out of the vehicle so I can get behind those really well. And other than that, it's pretty much all sanded down. I did the rear glass garnishes, and I'm probably going to have to do those again off the car, but we'll see how they turn out with doing them on the car first. I got behind the door handles really well, just to make sure we don't have any chipping and peeling from the paint there, as well as the mirrors. It's going to be kind of a challenge to get behind the mirrors, but I'll do the best I can. I did go ahead and remove the bumper, as you saw. Headlights, corner lights, all that's gone. And then I proceed to talk for about 15 more minutes without any sound. Alright, so what we got done is we got the Del Sol all washed up, and I made sure I power washed between all of the cracks, and made sure I got underneath the tail lights, the gas cap area, and just generally all around where I think that maybe some difficult spots to get to might be, or grime might be hiding in. Bonus points though, I did go ahead and clean this thing up. It was pretty dirty from sitting over the winter, and it came out pretty nice. I got these 417 Honda and Friends stickers. If you guys want one, send me a message, I'll get you hooked up. But honestly, pretty clean, pretty nice, pretty shiny. I really like the way the EF is turning out. Okay, so I got a lot of progress done today. I got it all washed up. I got it all taped up. I'll show you guys how I taped it up. Like I said before, I do not want to take off a lot of stuff on this car because body panels are expensive and they're fragile. And I can tell just by sanding they could break if I removed them. So let me show you what I got. I went ahead and taped up all this. I learned how to do all this from Bodavision. He buys the plastic from Lowe's, but actually from Amazon, and because it's cheaper on there. I used stir sticks to hold this seal back here so I can get spray all the way down in there. I covered these. I actually thought about not covering those and painting them red, but I decided I'm going to. Gas cap on the back window, I taped all around it. I took this guy out and taped it up, so that should be good. On the front window, I just tape around it, let the stuff fall down, and then tuck it underneath the hood. I'll go ahead and cover these guys up just so we don't get any paint in the engine bay. The mirrors and the antenna, taped all those up. Other than that, I'm pretty much ready. I gotta go ahead and remove the side skirts still. I haven't done that. And tomorrow I'm gonna go to O'Reilly's and see if paint is affordable there. Nissan, I've used it a couple times. It actually is a really good paint as far as I can tell. I've also used a couple other brands that were kind of off brands, and I had some adhesion problems. I don't know if it was due to that or my lack of knowledge of painting. I just know I've never had that problem with other brands. So I'm going to go ahead and avoid that. TCP, I used that on the EF, and I was actually really happy with that, but that was single stage. So if O'Reilly's is pricey for red, I'm going to go ahead and hit TCP up and get my paint from them, because I know that paint, at least last time, worked pretty good for me. So I think it would be a good candidate for this car also. I'm pretty happy with the pace at which this car is moving, because the EF took a long time to paint, but there's just way less to take off on this car. Even if I was tearing it down to nothing, there would be less to paint. I did go ahead and remove the top. It's over there. I'm going to paint it by itself with the front bumper, because I'm worried about the seals. I don't want the seals to leak, because they really didn't leak now. So in order to prevent them from leaking in the future, I'm going to go ahead and paint that by itself. Okay, so what I've been doing for the last few days, obviously, if you guys saw the footage before this, is painting the Del Sol. And I'm winding down with that. I have a pretty good understanding now, the difference between using a pretty much like a mid-tier paint to maybe a low-end paint. I used the Starfire paint for the previous EF build, and that was a single stage. And then on this one, I used the Nissan XL from O'Reilly's, which honestly, super impressed with that paint. That paint is forgiving, and it doesn't have to shoot out at a high pressure like the Starfire does. So quite a bit different. Putting this thing back together, I've got most of it put back together. I painted the side skirts off the car. I painted the gas cap off the car. I painted the roof off the car. All those I painted off the car, and pretty happy I did because it turned out fantastic, man. It's super good. I wasn't trying to remove these because of them breaking. I was concerned about that, but I'm going to have to because they had some weird reaction to the paint, and I'm pretty sure there was something on them. So I'll go ahead and do the research to remove these and take them off and repaint them. It's not a huge deal, a minor setback, but it is what it is. So today, I need some headlights. So, Oxito sent us some headlights, some LED headlights. They are free. They wanted my honest opinion. They didn't want me to be biased one way or the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them in and try them, see if I like them, and I'll give you guys my honest outlook on that. So these headlights just have regular bulbs in them. So I'll go ahead and remove those out of there, and we'll see how well the Oxito lights fit in the holes, because some LED lights are substantially bigger and they have problems fitting in the hole as well as going in behind the power steering pump here. So we'll see how well they fit. I'll bet you they're fine. I have had that problem in the past. So let me get these headlights out of here, get these open, and we'll see what's in the box. Got the old headlight out, just a normal run-of-the-mill headlight there. I got some gloves in the box, some, I don't know, some zip ties, some O-rings, and here's the actual lights themselves. Let's look at them right up next to the factory ones. It doesn't look like they're much bigger. Not even the backs of them are much bigger, so that's kind of nice. They do have this LED converter on the back of them that will have to kind of fit in there. But let me get them put in the headlights themselves, and we'll see how well they fit. I did notice when putting these in, this spring right here that holds down the light typically is it's like hard to push down, but if you push it down hard enough, you can get it in there. But I can imagine that being very difficult inside the car. But other than that, it's fine so far. I was going to order some one-piece headlights because I do like the way they look, but they all seem to be really cheaply built, and I don't want to get into any problems where they're leaking water or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep the factory headlights. I know they're good. They don't leak, obviously, because there's no moisture in there, and I don't think these are going to make a huge difference on how the headlights keep out water. I think that's mainly the seal right up in here, which I read people have problems with on the one-piece lights. As far as the quality and brightness of these headlights, I'm pretty happy with them. The dims are pretty dim, but I guess that's the point. The brights, however, are great. You can see adequately, and I'm a huge fan of the color since they no longer have the yellow tint to them. That particular style isn't for me. I just prefer a nice white light. In the end, I would definitely recommend these headlights if you're trying to upgrade your OEM ones, or if you have to replace your headlights in the future. I appreciate the opportunity Oxito gave me to try them out. Go check them out at oxito.com. They seem to have lights for many different applications.